So today we are going to reflect upon a very interesting topic. And if we actually scout the internet, maximum jokes are there on marriage. And it's an evergreen topic. And let us see. Today, these are my learnings from 35 years of marriage and Vedanta studies. Yours might be different. And let us say we can complete this 5-6 topic which were there in the flyer today in 1 hour. So let us start. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vitvaram. Hari Om to all. Thank you very much for logging in. There are certain triggers why this topic is taken today. Number one, many of you know that I've been taking corporate programs for last 25-30 years. And in that, there's an activity called as rappelling and wall climbing. And before people do these two activities, there is a paper given to them. And in that, their objective is to collect some documents. Even last week, 4 days back, we had a very senior team, including CEO. I think some of them have joined also today. So for the last 25 to 30 years, more than 10-15,000 have people, corporates have gone through. And till today, the record is only 4 people were able to, out of tens of thousands, only 4 people were able to accomplish the objective and remember that paper. And after coming back from that activity, I have a session in the conference where there are many learnings come. But one of the sessions in the early time, these 3 questions, it came through me and I also started thinking about this. And the main question is, what is the objective? Because they forgot the objective because the process was so interesting. So 3 questions normally asked, even this 4 days back when there was this company asked the same questions. What is the objective of living? What is the objective of working? And what is the objective of getting married? And many times when I'm asked this question, there is silence at other end. And many times when some people try to tell the answer, it is more of process than the purpose. And that also started making me trigger that what is the purpose? Because getting into something without knowing what is the purpose and objective, I like this joke very much, which is there will be some poor jokes that one person was standing on a bus stop and he got into a bus. It was crowded. After some time, he got a seat because conductor was far off. And after conductor came to his place, ticket, where you want to go? He told, I don't know. Then why did you get boarded the bus? No, because everybody boarded the bus. Where are people going? Because the ticket has to be taken. Where are most people going? So this bus last stop is Hutatma Chowk. I like that name, Hutatma Chowk. So I will also go there. So for many of us, the objective is not clear. So today we are not going to talk about objective of life and work, but one topic, why marry? And then let us see how we can learn from Vedanta and relate to this topic. The second trigger is, some months back, I had gone to Kerala in Mata Amrutanandamayi Ashram, and there in one of the discourse, she mentioned very interesting analogy, and being an adventure person, I like this analogy. She mentioned that marriage is not a dip in a swimming pool. It is not taking a dip in the swimming pool that, where the temperature is regulated. We know the depth, 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet. And then there is some kind of balloon or life jacket attached and there is a guide. And then you take a dip there and have some swimming. Marriage is like a surfing on the ocean. Very interesting analogy. It is ocean surfing. Because there are tides, there are ups and downs, there is tsunami, rainfall can come without, weather bureau mentioning. In marriage also we experience all such kind of thing. And then she mentioned that if I really want to enjoy the ocean surfing, that is equivalent to marriage, I must know how to enjoy, I must know how to ride the waves, I must practice, I must have the adequate skills and the patience, and finally the balance to enjoy the ocean riding. It is called as surfing. And with those who do not practice this, have the adequate skills and get into this ocean surfing like marriage, normally they get drowned, disappointed, dejected, or they don't enjoy. So the analogy is like this: for ocean surfing, that is required. For marriage, right thinking, right attitude and right skills are required. Because 40-50 years of project. One of the Swamiji said that this is only one project in life which has a starting date, but there is no ending date only. There is no ending date, there is no contract. The third reason is that I met a monk there in that ashram, and he was writing a book on why marry. So we had a long discussion till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And I was having all these kind of questions I'm asking in many of the corporates. So I had prepared my own ways to answer. Some of the very curious people used to come and say, okay, I want to know what is the purpose of marriage, purpose of work, purpose of life, because it is just getting into a bus and not knowing where this bus will take me. So we had a long discussion, and this book is coming out. Maybe once that book comes out, I will pass on that message, pass on that book name, Why Marry. So that also was one of the trigger for this particular session. And the fourth trigger, that my own son is getting, Manisha and my son is getting married in October. And people ask that Shadi ki taiyari kaise chalu hai? So I cannot tell them directly, but now I can mention that wedding ki taiyari chalu hai. Shadi ki taiyari, now we are going to discuss. There is a difference in preparing for marriage and preparing for wedding. So many preparations for wedding ceremony, but how are we prepared physically, emotionally, financially? That we will discuss for marriage to happen, which is a very important project of 30, 40, 50 years. And the fifth trigger is that, as I mentioned last week, many of you wish, thank you very much, for 35 years of marriage. 35 years of marriage we completed last week, me and Manisha. That means 12,780 days, 25,000 of tea, coffee together, 38,000 meals, countless memories, and approximately, I was calculating and I took permission from Manisha, approximately 372 arguments. My invitation to all of us is that those who cannot argue, those who do not know how to handle argument, getting into marriage is difficult. We will see what are the skills required here, and then one can enjoy, and especially if you have learnt Vedanta, then the arguments happens on highly Vedantic terminology. Because when she is not well, I will say you are not body. And when I am not well, I will say this is your karma yoga service possibility. So the arguments change, but arguments are there. And if you actually go and research today after this session, maximum divorces have happened in the world on one aspect. I was surprised to see the reasons, and one of the top reasons, 40%, are lack of relationship skills. People say there is no emotional connect, there is no appreciation. There is no relationship because I don't know what is relationship. I know only ship and I know only relation. But what is that ship on which two people have to board and go? And how many people actually prepare? And we say that husband and wife has to prepare for a marriage. No, actually in-laws and parents also has to prepare because they only prepare for wedding. I'm not preparing myself for letting go possession, letting go control, all those kind of things. So when we are not clear, we come to our first topic. Why people marry? This is the most fascinating one. And there is a research done on this. And you will all agree when you go back to your time and then imagine that why you got married. Most of the time when we ask this question, people say, actually, I don't know. But we will see what are the different reasons. Number one, which is almost 70 to 60%, at least in India. Parents started insisting, number one. Worried, parents were getting worried. Parents are getting old. Parents getting retired. If that is the reason, if I am getting married, actually, I am going to suggest it is better to have a parent counselor rather than to get into marriage. Second reason, all my friends got married and there was a fear of FOMO. This is today's Gen Z word. FOMO is fear of being left out. And actually, this happened in my case because when I gave my invitation card to one of my school friend, he came to my home and told, अरे यार सबका शादी हो गया, हमारे ग्रुप में मेरा कब होगा, मुझे डर लग रहा है. So marrying out of fear of loneliness cannot be a solid reason to get married. The third, I was feeling lonely, and then school ho gaya, college ho gaya, then there was job, and then people started asking, and then I was feeling lonely, and there was boredom. So two lonely and bored people get married to create more loneliness and boredom. Can it be a higher, better objective for spending 40, 50 years? Next, constant pressure from relatives. Arey, shadi kab kar rahe ho? Shadi kab kar rahe ho? I got bored of this, so I got married. I think one needs noise reducing headphones. Now they are available. If you want, I can suggest the best one where you can avoid relatives. Next, reason to get married, what people say. What happened? Proposals started coming, and then I was 24, 25, and then horoscope matched, and then I thought, okay, horoscope is matching, and then, good proposals are coming. I don't know when the next proposal will come. So in this case, instead of marriage, one needs a good astrologer. Whether this is a right proposal or wrong proposal, who will know? One couple went to a marriage counselor and asked, what is the right age of marriage? This counselor had studied Vedanta. He told biologically 15, legally 18, culturally 24, economically 30, and logically never. This is the next reason why today Gen Z are saying that, at least this one of the Gen Z said this, that I want to get married because it will give me unlimited pleasure. I don't want to use that word, unlimited pleasure for lifetime. So I'm getting married. Biological clock is ticking, that hormones are coming fast. So I want to get married too. So here priority is important or clarity is important. For that reason, if I'm getting into a project of 40, 50 years, it is going to be a challenging. But this actually, it is said by youngsters that free sex. So I want to get married. This is the reason. Next reason, these are now Gen Z reasons are coming. That I need a partner for paying EMI. Then I don't have anyone to share food which is left over. I don't have anyone to go for a movie. I need a companion. Then one needs, and then there is emotional security I want. Then I must take a dog or, contact one service provider, agency or LIC agent, because that person will give you all this security. The next reason, I am getting older. This reason somebody covers up. I spotted gray hair, started spotting gray hair. It's time to marry. Instead of getting married, this person must go to a beauty parlor. I'm just giving what are the reasons, what are researched and found out, and suggestions. Then some people say that, I want someone to understand me in life. Nobody understands me. And I feel that my husband or wife will understand me forever. Actually, this person now should try ChatGPT Claude Pro. Even that ChatGPT won't understand you what you're asking. And then we want to get into marriage, that somebody else should understand me completely. We will see about it. Then love and commitment to grow, better social acceptance. And I want now respect, because today I am not married and other people are married, they are getting more respect. So I have to ask one question, that after marriage also, if you don't get respect, then? So there are 25 reasons researched why people get married, and one has to ask today one question, that looking at these reasons, which ones can truly become a solid foundation for 40-50 years of Project Happy Marriage? So now, important question. Whom to marry? Who is the right person to marry is not a very deeper question to ask. Important question to ask is, why marry? So the motivation has to be clear. That is, either to be happy. Some people say, I want to become more happy. I would say, first of all, before marriage, you find out why you are unhappy. That is more important. Then get into marriage, because suddenly your marriage may become something else. Second motivation. So this is now summary. What is my motivation to get married? To be happy, to avoid loneliness, to have children. That can be possible without marriage also. To gain security. Then I must have security guard. To fulfill social expectations, to share responsibilities, to find love, or to grow together. Vedanta comes and says here that we are going to give reasons here. Vedanta comes and says that one of the reasons which are there in our scriptures, I'll mention what are the scriptures where marriage is discussed or given in detail, is marriage is one platform one should get into to discover oneself. Because before marriage, I think I have no faults. But after marriage, our spouse tells hundreds of faults what I have. And I discover that there are a lot of challenges with me only. Suppose one gets with these ideas of marriage, then they get into marriage with common marriage myths. So we come to the second topic, common marriage myths and realities. So what are the myths? One, marriage will permanently remove my inner emptiness. This is a big myth. Marriage will solve loneliness and insecurity problem. Third, love alone is enough, and love means mind reading. This is another myth about love. Love means people after marriage think, you must be able to read my mind after 20 years of experience. So one husband came, this happened actually in COVID time, and he told, let's play a game. What is the game? I'll hold 3 cards. I'll show you 3 cards and I will keep one in my mind. And if you find out what card I am holding in my mind, I'll give you 1 lakh rupees. And then I will hold only 3 numbers, 1, 2, 3. And if you tell me what number is there in my mind, 5 lakhs rupees. It is a joke. Huh? The wife got a little interested. Okay, 1 lakh, 5 lakhs is not a big deal, and there are only 3 numbers and 3 alphabets. And then he told, okay, what is a card? She told, Queen of Heart. He told, no, it is King of Spade. She got very irritated. Now, second chance. 1, 2, 3. What number is in my mind? She told 3. No, it was 1, he told. She got so irritated and frustrated and angry. She told, how can I read your mind? Which card are you holding? He told, same thing I am wondering for last 2 days, that how can I read your mind? Why are you not talking to me for 2 days? And most of the time in marriage, after 10, 20 years, people think that I must be able to read each other's mind. Next myth, after marriage, he or she will change. Very difficult, because vasanas and desires and habits are so strong, and people wonder that, no, this person will change. Romance will automatically continue forever. And marriage is just a legal paper. These are all myths. What are the realities? Two incomplete people don't make a whole. Two self-aware people create a stable joy. These are realities of marriage. If I know realities and get into it, then I can create happiness and success, because that is what is promised in the Vedas. We will see what are the scriptures which clearly define what is the objective, what is the process. Marriage is a workshop where listening is more important than speaking. This I find it difficult because of my profession of talking. Marriage is not meant to complete you, it is meant to refine you. And that is where marriage is considered as one of the 16 sanskars. Sanskar means refinement process. If this is being told to a person that this is not a place where all these things will be available, it is actually a polishing machine. For 30-40 years you will be polished if you are ready. Marriage is not a relationship, it is a practice and sadhana. We will discuss how it can be made as a sadhana. That is what our scriptures say. So we come to the third topic. After research, as in Vedanta, there are 4 mahavakyas. Am Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Prajnanam Brahma, Ayam Atma Brahma. So those who read Vedanta, these mahavakyas actually give us the entire process, objective, what is there and what is the final goal. So in marriage, there are 4 mahavakyas we must remember before getting into it. And those who are married and those who have lived, they know what it means. The first mahavakya, I am sorry, is more powerful than I love you. Because this is very difficult to say I am sorry. Before marriage, people say I love you. But after marriage, I am sorry becomes as Gurudev says, those people who say sorry, sorry, holding a sari are sansari. And he says where love becomes thin, faults become thick. Gurudev's statement. Second mahavakya, marriage is the best ashram to dissolve ego. Because people say sannyas ashram is best. According to me, marriage ashram is best. Because nobody else dissolves his ego like your spouse and children and parents and in-laws. And we have so much ego. And the joke is nothing dissolves ego like sharing a bathroom or washroom for 30 years when one forgets to flush the trash, wash the cup of coffee, and a wet towel put on the bed when that particular shouting comes. Then that is one ego management technique to handle. Third, which is the best one need not go to ashram and gurukul to learn. Marriage is the best gurukul. Third mahavakya. Because nowhere else in the world one learns so many lessons without choosing syllabus. We don't know what is the syllabus. And what is the syllabus? If I don't practice this, these are the skills in marriage required. One of the skill required is advanced listening. What is advanced listening for husband and wife? Hearing words that were never spoken. Because sometimes one has to read mind language. Sometimes we have to read eyes language. Sometimes we have to read body language. If I am not trained, then there is a problem. The second syllabus is emotional mathematics. One small mistake is equal to 10 big issues. One small, because normally wives do less mistake, husband do more mistake. That is the research. So one day, one husband and wife started from their home and they were going to the airport and they wanted to reach. And husband told, we will take this route. Seeing in the map, the wife told, no, we will take the other route because last time when I went, that was the route. So husband throughout was praying for one thing, that may my flight miss today. And because wife has told this route, so that my flight should be missed, because then this will be on record that whatever you tell is not always correct, because most of the time women are correct. Because they manage most of the important portfolios in house, kitchen, this, that. So most of the things are in their control. Third, silent communication, decoding silence, eyebrow movements, size, one should start reading in marriage or before marriage practicing. If I am not practicing, if I am only doing chartered accountancy or some engineering and not understanding this. Fourth, this is what topic I take in many corporates, that women must learn what is men's language and man must learn what is women's language. And we don't put efforts, and there are books available on this. Because how women think and men think, it is completely different because the brains are wired differently. For example, when the women says that, okay, do whatever you want, it doesn't mean do whatever you want. It is a code. So there we learn Shabdartha and Lakshartha. Shabdartha is literal meaning, but Lakshartha is don't do whatever you want, because that is a sentence what coming from that. What are the realizations in marriage? These are the four mahavakyas. The fourth is remaining. Marriage teaches you a new definition of grace. So we are connecting Vedanta and marriage. What is the definition of grace in marriage? When we actually know each other's faults and flaws, managing and living together, it requires grace only. Because as Guruji says, marriage is made in heaven, but maintenance is our job. God has told, I have selected the pairs exactly for you, but maintaining them is your job. So, four mahavakyas. I'll repeat again. Marriage teaches you new definition of grace. Marriage is the best gurukul. Suppose I have that thought, it is enjoyable process. Marriage is the best ashram to dissolve ego, because finally Vedanta says that ignorance is the main cause of suffering, and that is the ego. Vedanta also has lot of sadhanas we will see to dissolve ego only basically. And the first one, Mahavakya, if somebody wants to make marriage successful and happy, I am sorry, I must practice. I am sorry. It should be coming out of habit. I am sorry, because that saves a lot of things. Some realizations. Silence is sometimes smarter than logic in marriage, especially in arguments. Some people are so argumentative, especially people like me, because I teach people about debate, how to have debate, because that is one of my favorite topics. Recently in ashram also I had gone to take half-day session for brahmacharis, how to have a debate, and it is there in our Nyaya philosophy. But one must know how to argue respectfully and when to have silence and when to have a debate on this. Peace is better than proving a point. Marriage realization. We must buy peace rather than prove a point. With this, some realization, I think all of you are having your own realization, but today I must ask one question to ourselves, that after 20, 30, 40 years of marriage, and write down, more than experience, what is my learning and realization? That is more important. Experiences are not important, but learning and realizations are important. The next topic is, okay, all these things we are saying about myths and realities and why people marry, but what is a spiritual vision? What does scripture say about it? Very interestingly, there are many scriptures who are there who give these details. Because, when I was asking that question to my corporate people, and I had to also study and come with answers ready, because some people come and ask you, okay, you have been talking Vedanta and the scriptures, what do you think is the then real purpose and objective of getting married? So there are a couple of scriptures available. One is Rig Veda, 10th chapter, 85, canto, that talks about marriage. There are a couple of Griha Sutras, those who want to, read after this session. There are many Griha Sutras which are written in different times. Manusmriti chapter 3 talks about marriage, Grihastha life, 8 forms of marriage. This is also very interesting. Many Gen Z today say that, you are all outdated, today's systems are different, we are very ultra modern. They have not read Manusmriti. Manusmriti talks about 8 kinds of marriages. Very interesting it is. 8 kinds of marriage. Among that, one is Gandharva Vivaha, which is living relationship, which was there in our ancient time. And today people say, no, it is a new thing. It is not a new thing. Then there is a Rakshas Vivaha. Rakshas Vivaha is abducting the girl and taking away and marrying, and the girl's also okay because now she stays with him because he is a protector. So those were written down and there are documents available. In our Indian constitution also you can go and read what are the different forms of marriages, those who are interested. Different forms of marriage are there in our Indian constitution also. So, number one, what spirituality says as a vision. First, marriage is called as Vivaha here in Bharatiya Sanskriti. And that Vivaha is a Sanskrit word which means, Vivaha means V means Vishesh and Vaha means to lead. And that's the reason the boy leads. In the Saptapadi also we will see. There are 7 steps. And first 4 steps the boy leads. And the next 3 steps the girl leads. Girl is ahead. Such a broader mindset. So first meaning is to lead a life. That is the meaning of Vivaha. To lead what? To lead where? Not from girl's house to boy's house. That is also very interesting. I had lot of conversations with corporate people and women who talk about equality. Man and women, our scriptures are there, equality. But no women say that after marriage, you come and stay at my place. Well, no, I have got 2 sisters. I know you will not get along with my parents. And normally the girl wants to go. And one boy said, no, I will come and stay your place. Let us have deal. 1 year I will come and stay at your home. 1 year you come and stay at our home because we are equal. No. We will come and stay at your home only because my house, I know there will be mess. So, to lead what? This is what is the main thing. 4 objectives are given. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. To lead a life of, we will see what it means very interestingly. But this is the main point here, is that finally both of them, we will see in later objectives. There are 7 objectives which are there. Scriptures give for having a happy, successful and enjoyable life. Because many people think that scriptures means don't enjoy. Actually, the more we read scriptures, many people have not read Kama as one of the Purushartha. Fortunately, few months back, Swami Swatmananji took a session on 4 Purushartha. I don't know why he told me. He told me to take a session on Kama Purushartha, and that made me read. And this is one topic we will take later on, because many people do not know how to enjoy life. Whole life goes. If you say, no, there is so much of stress, work-life balance, EMI, nappy changing, children, days, birth, but how to enjoy? It's a big Purushartha given. And there are techniques which are very, very spiritual, how to enjoy work, how to enjoy family life, and how to enjoy life only. Unless I know and then I get into marriage, it is going to be a challenge. So 4 reasons are there to lead, to walk together on a shared journey of happiness, meaning, values, and spiritual growth. And that's the reason when Sri Ram and Sita got married, Sita's father told Sri Ram, there is a dialogue in Valmiki Ramayana, that from today she is your Saha Dharma Charini. So Ram asked, what is the meaning of Saha Dharma Charini? Very interesting. What Janak Maharaj told, she will not walk behind you, but also she will not walk ahead of you. She will walk with you in all challenges. And we should actually read Valmiki Ramayana. For only one person, many things we know, but many people do not know that how Sita convinced Ram, Lakshman, mother-in-laws, gurus, that she will go to Vanvas. She will go, because it is not easy. It is very easy to say, you come to Kolad, I will put you in a tent and you stay there for 4 days, and with those insects and those crawling things and all, it is not at all easy to stay in a forest. So that is the one word which is there in Ramayana, Sahadharmacharini. Scriptures say that, I'm just giving gist, considering time. Marriage in Vedic vision is not accidental with all those reasons what we saw. It is very purposeful action and a project one must take with preparation. And there are preparations at physical level, emotional level, at intellectual level. And those who want to know more, Manisha had gone to Kolhapur. There is a Mahalakshmi temple, all of you know. There is an ashram there, different organization. We went there and we spent one day there. It is a very interesting ashram. Those who want to go and read, and worth it. They say that they're actually practicing that before marriage, the couple comes and stays there. And before pregnancy, they train them. There is a technology available in our scriptures. What is the technology? How to invoke high evolved souls in pregnancy. And that's the reason if you read Puranas and our stories, when before any Sri Ram was born, Sri Krishna was born, their parents did lot of tapasya. It was not an accident. That child happened because of some accident or some kind of carelessness. The child came out. So I asked them, okay, what is the process? I know you will not tell such details, but couple of things what he told, I still remember. We had gone almost 6-7 years back. He said, Ahara Shuddhi, number one. After marriage, before pregnancy, we put couples into Ahara Shuddhi. What they should eat is very clear, and then only the women's body and the men body is ready for next. Second, Mana Shuddhi. They have a technique for doing mind purification. Third, intellectual, Vichara Shuddhi. And the fourth, Chitta Shuddhi. And then they will give you a time, they will give you a place, then they will see you are ready, and then they say that you can invoke a high evolved soul in your womb. So there is a technology available. Otherwise, it will just happen like accident. Any soul roaming around in the market will come. We don't know. Are like Hiranyakashipu's, under him Prahlad came. But there are many parents who are very noble, and suddenly one Rakshas came. Guruji says, you never know who is coming. Next, what scripture says, we are not going into objective yet. There are 7 objectives, we will say. It becomes, marriage is a lifelong laboratory to transcend ego. That is what scriptures say. If that is the message going to people who are getting married, then the entire purpose changes. And transcending ego means what? Transcending fear, transcending attachment, transcending dependency, transcending ignorance. And as we mentioned earlier, one main theme which comes in most scriptures is that marriage is not created to complete you. Happiness, pleasure, enjoyment, loneliness. No. Marriage is created to polish you. Happiness, pleasure, maza, these are all byproducts. Suppose I follow this, there is a lot of fun and I can ride the waves. It's like ocean surfing. But that is a byproduct. Main is 7 objectives are mentioned. Actually, there are many mentioned, but let's have the 7 scriptural objectives which are given in all these scriptures. I mentioned couple of them. Griha Sutras, there are 3 to 4 Griha Sutras. Then Yajnavalkya Smriti, Manu Smriti, Ved, 10th chapter. In this, they are mentioned. So, what are the 7 objectives given for marriage? Number 1, I'll just mention the Sanskrit word and mention here. What is the meaning in day-to-day language? First is mentioned dharma, which is very important. Dharma means basically value-based living. Very important. Most of the time, artha and kama becomes the goal for marriage, for enjoyment and for earning money and then more enjoyment, which are there. But what is more important here, just to mention, is that artha without dharma becomes greed and possessiveness. Very, very important point. And kama without dharma becomes perversion. I'll repeat. Kama, enjoyment, without that moderation and discipline becomes perverted mind. And artha, without dharma, becomes greed or possessiveness. We don't know how much to earn and when to stop also. And how to enjoy. Because most people who are working, they say, why are you working? For family. This is the answer what I've got. If you ask family, no, I am not agreeing with that, because he is actually working for designation, success and more money, not giving time to family only. If I am really working for family, then I must give more time. Then it is okay to have less designation and maybe less salary, because if you are working for family, that should be the purpose. So here is that corporate challenge. Even last session we discussed work-life balance or family life balance. And that can only happen when three things are clear. The purpose of living, purpose of creating family, and purpose of earning money. The second, actually one or two people had called me up and they told you should discuss more of this, but this is not a parenting session. Parenting session we have to take another one. So second reason what is given here in the scripture is praja. Praja means today many children do not want children, but in our scripture they say that children is one of the reason why one must get married, objective, because in earlier days at least the sharing of knowledge was only done with children, because how will the knowledge be passed on? Because there was no writing, there was no internet, there was no Google. It was word to word from father to son. The knowledge was transferred. I'll just mention here, because this was a kind of conversation, that there must be clarity on children also. That children are only born through us, not for us. Children have born with their own desires and vasanas, not to fulfill our desires and vasanas. Because after some time, for parent, there is no goal other than children. Because I don't have my own goal. Because marriage is an unending project. Vanaprastha hota hi nahi hai. In earlier days, 50 was Vanaprastha. Now today, Swatmanandi says at least start at 60. So entire attention is on children school, children marriage, their children, when, and their entire focus is there. So there has to be clarity that children select parents, not that parents select children. And our scripture says that once the children are independent in their earning and taking their own decisions, parents' duty is over. Whatever I do later on is bonus. Main duty is over. Niyatam kuru karmatvam. Duty is what? What is the duty of husband? What is the duty of wife? What is the duty of grandmother? What is the duty of... So that also I must ask. Third one, yajna. So this is very interesting, that before marriage, I must ask myself, am I ready to serve others? Because I become we. And I have to serve in-laws and then relatives. The two people are not getting married. Now our son is getting married. We have 500 people from our side. They have 500 people from their side. So 1,000 people coming together. It's a big, team. It's not only two. So that seva bhav is mentioned, and it is very clearly mentioned that one has to get into grihasthashram to actually fulfill 5 runas. Pitrurun, ancestors rune, then Devarun, that to serve the nature, then Manusharun, to serve people who are there in the family, because in-laws are there, relatives are, so many people we have to take care. Then Rishirun, whatever the knowledge I've got to be given, and then Bhutarun means to also serve animals, birds. Oh, do you mean that only this is done? This duty is given to only grihasthas? Yes. Because among the 4 ashrams, only Grihasthas earn. Brahmacharya ashram, student doesn't earn. Vanaprastha, retired. Sannyas ashram, not earning. Only ashram is earning, that is Grihastha ashram. So there are more duties given to Grihastha ashram, and that's the reason this is a wonderful ashram to fulfill and overcome the ego. Next, Sahadharmacharya, to support each other in life responsibility and challenges. This is what we are reading right now. We may not understand the importance, but I would invite all of you, because I am not getting into that topic, why people divorce. Because today our topic is why people marry. And the reasons are very shocking. If you read the statistics and research, there are a couple of reasons. The first reason is relationship skills are not there. No emotional connect, no this, lack of appreciation. This is one of the reasons. Second reason is character and values. Character and values means dishonesty, addiction, self-centeredness. I don't want to participate into growing, taking care of children. Then third is external stress, job loss, health loss, money loss. And fourth reason is expectation mismatch. These myths, what we told, that people have expectations which are, as Guruji says, durasha, means false expectations. Something what it cannot give. The fourth is Grihastha Dharma, very interesting. Before I go to office, the objective must be in my mind. Before I come to home, objective must be clear, that why I have got married. The home must be a place where there is peace, where there is open communication, where there is shanti, where there is fun, where there is love, and I must look forward. Otherwise, some people run away from their home, because today if you see in COVID time, people say नहीं घर पे नहीं रहना है, हमको ऑफिस जाना है. Today many employees have told, no, we don't want full-time work from home, we want to go away. So our Shastra says that we must create a home where people and other people would love to come home. Otherwise, I give this example to corporate people, that house people are, home people, spouse and children are enjoying, sitting, playing. And when the bell rings at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, they think, aa gaya musibat abhi office se. Hara hua insan, depressed, thaka hua, I am tired. Who told you to get tired? No, then I want a cup of tea, and then towel idhar kyun rakha hai, wo udhar kyun rakha hai, ye kyun, padhai karo. In this entire solar system spinning at 1100 miles per hour, one towel is bothering this person. And that's the reason one of my mahavakyas, what I've observed is that people are emotional in office and professional at home, because don't know how many emotions we should take to office and come back home, because in our home there is no emotion left, no patience. Next, very important, inner growth. This is given, highlighted in many of the scriptures, and there are 8 Atma Gunas given, that is the objective of getting married. At the end of the journey, whenever I say, okay, the journey is 30 years, these 8 Atma Gunas must be developed in me. What are those? Overcoming jealousy, self-discipline, patience, anger, greed. These are 8 Atma Gunas. I mentioned some, you can read. So that is a clear objective, that during these 30-40 years, I must ask. And the final one is, this is the main one, that marriage is not the goal. For some people, marriage is the goal. Marriage is the means for complete inner freedom, complete inner spiritual evolution, that is moksha. And what is the essence? Marriage is not for happiness and pleasure alone. It is for inner growth. When it is taken as an inner growth, happiness, pleasure, enjoyment becomes much more. Because I know how to ride the waves. I know so many skills before getting married. I'll just mention this, that in our ritual of marriage, there is Saptapadi, there are 7 Feras, and there is one mantra for each. This I had taken when I took the 16 Sanskars, in a couple of years back, I took 16 Sanskars in detail. Out of that, this is very interesting. Most marriages have a Saptapadi, 7 vows, and there is a mantra chanted for each. And in some of the cultures, at least, Maharashtrian culture, North Indian culture, Gujarati culture, first four are by men lead, and the next three are women lead. So there also who lead is very important. And what are the seven? First one, we will nourish each other physically, emotionally. Second, we both will go together in strength, physical, emotional, spiritual. So there is no exploitation. Third, very importantly, no shopping to preserve wealth. So husband and wife both should think, okay, how much to spend, how much to save. Fourth one, to create happiness and harmony. Fifth one, to create healthy lineage. That's the reason if you see the last three, the women lead. And together in all responsibilities, there also women lead, that all responsibilities are both. Because, earlier days it was very clear. Husband will earn, women will do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And some women feel little low also, say that I am a homemaker or I am this. Nowadays, it is changed. But the responsibilities were clear. Now both are working, both are doing a lot of things. And the last pledge both of them take is that it is very interesting that we will be true friends and enjoy the companionship. Very interesting, written in our scriptures 5,000 years back, because this is very important, because husband and wife must remain as friends. Because, in a train, one day we were traveling and there was one couple who was talking constantly with each other, and we were actually assessing whether that couple is married or no. Finally, we concluded that couple is not married, because so much they cannot talk after 30, 40 years of marriage. And if they are not talking to each other, one is dominating. And husband and wife relationship is boring. Friends relationship must be there. And friendship means what? That even if the other person says you are Gadha, I must be able to say you are a pig, and then nobody feels anything. And enjoying the companionship. These are the 7 steps given in the Saptapadi. So what is the overall expectation? What is the overall objective given after marriage? This is very interesting. Enhanced, because many people say, before marriage I was so bubbly, my body was so nice, and I was so free, and after marriage there are so many restrictions, I become so serious, not sincere. And how I was, you see my 25-year photograph and now 45-year photograph. So because the objective is not clear, what it has been mentioned here is that enhanced happiness, enhanced love, enhanced emotional stability, enhanced peace, enhanced harmony, and very importantly, last two, enhanced selflessness and inner freedom. And to have this, we will come to our concluding topic. As there are 4 yogas in Gita, there are 4 yogas in marriage also. Very fascinating. First yoga, what is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, where Lord starts in the 2nd chapter, is Jnana Yoga only. So in Jnana Yoga, what is the inquiry? Who am I? Who is Atma? In marriage, what is the inquiry? What is a Jnana Yoga in marriage? Why did I say that? There is a problem. Then why am I like this? And who got hurt? This is marriage Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga says ignorance, avidya causes suffering. Marriage says assumptions causes suffering. The most common assumption in married life is that I thought you were doing it. In our house, though, our majority fights are who will do what work. Who will do what work is a major issue. Second one, marriage is karma yoga. Every day someone has to wash this, someone has to earn money, someone has to fold clothes, someone has to remember where the charges is. There is no applause, no medals, only karma yoga, and then we get frustrated if karma yoga's service attitude is not there. That's the reason work becomes burden, even in office also. The third, bhakti yoga in marriage. It is called as emotional flexibility bhakti yoga. Love in married life is not like Heer and Ranja. It's a very interesting example. It is like IKEA furniture. I hope next time you order one IKEA furniture from IKEA shop, that furniture we have to assemble. So it is confusing instruction, missing screws, and then we have to assemble and maintain the entire furniture. Marriage is like that, when that furniture comes home, then we have to manage, and we have to find the missing screws. But finally, when it stands, I think those who have not experienced this, I think you should go to USA and Canada and see, when they order this complicated thing, nobody comes there. They have to pay $100 to for some service mechanic. इधर तो हम लोग मैकेनिक बुला लेते हैं, वहां पे वो सब बेड एंड कबोर्ड दे हैव टू assemble. In bhakti yoga, there is surrender to God. In marriage, we have to surrender to restaurant choices, remote control decisions, and you do whatever, let us do whatever you want. I have one very interesting dialogue which I tell Manisha all the time. Tu म्हणेल ती पूर्व दिशा. Tu म्हणेल ती पूर्व दिशा means that is a peace sign. Means wherever you say east is, that is where east is. Suppose your east is here, that is east. Suppose you tomorrow this is east, that is east. There where the sun comes, whatever you say, that is okay. One realizes love is not a feeling in marriage. Love is a skill. The major myth, love is not an emotion. Love is a skill. What is a skill? Love says, I can't leave you. I can't live without you. Skill says, okay, I will put the wet towel on the hanger and wash the coffee cup, and there is peace generated. That is a skill, and that is also a part of love only. And last one in Bhakti Yoga is love teaches forgiveness. Because these are all part of Bhakti Yoga if we want to say that I am a Bhakta. What is forgiveness? In marriage, one has to quickly learn that forgiveness and surrender is not weakness. Forgiveness and surrender is maintenance of marriage. To maintain these two have to be there. And Dhyana Yoga, fourth mentioned is Dhyana Yoga in Gita, is that whenever there is argument and conflict, earlier one shouts and talks and there is disconnect. Once one learns Dhyana Yoga in marriage, like a Taila Dharavat, then silence becomes communication. At least in some homes, I have heard many, at least 1 day, 2 days, silence is good because there is a conflict. Then they again come back. Then who will talk first and who will talk second? There is a big tussle goes on. If it is not happening, then it is very good. To complete, good, I am happy that it is getting completed on time. We started with one assumption or one analogy that marriage is like a surfing on ocean. So marriage is a journey where one realizes that it is a journey from I, starts with I. It goes to we, W-E, to I am all. That is a journey of marriage. Marriage does not give us another person. Marriage gives us another mirror. Final completions. And from the mirror, we quickly have to learn without blame, without expectation, without ego. And then every marriage, every grihastha ashram becomes, every home becomes an ashram. We don't have to go to ashram because here itself we can learn so many things if that particular skill we develop. And very interestingly, every act of service becomes a prayer. And I read recently, because I was doing research on this, marriage is a beautiful journey where separation dissolves. Marriage, mirror is the right analogy. Alka Keras, yes. So now to conclude this topic, Vedanta and marriage, Vedanta says change is inevitable. Definitely change will happen. So marriage is all about what? Living together, learning together, growing together, and importantly, outgrowing each other and not apart. And so finally, to conclude this, we have to enter this ocean prepared, ride the waves consciously, and return to our own shore, wiser, happier, freer, and joyous. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this, and I personally enjoyed preparing it because so many scriptures, so many discussions with many people, because I get opportunity to, and also at home before this, normally the editor is Manisha, so she has to approve whether any joke is not coming on her. So that is also done. And I personally feel that this topic we must discuss more and more, because many times, marriage as an ashram is criticized for certain things. According to me, our rishis were all married, our gods and goddesses were all married, and this is one of the best place to evolve, enjoy, and return back with that happiness. If this preparation is done, this becomes the best ashram to live into. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.